Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. When I pick up our children from daycare and bring them home, it usually takes half an hour. And our children are growing up, so they're becoming more inquisitive, which is really a nice word for talkative. And so as we drive back, they keep asking questions. Why do leaves fall? How come we had pizza for lunch? And so on and so forth. And imagine two young boys constantly asking these questions. So after a while, it becomes a lot. So I tell our boys, okay, now we need our own quiet time. You both look around outside and I will be quiet. So Vyasa is receptive to that. And Shika will then go on with, yeah, we need our own quiet time. Our own quiet time, right, Pitashi? We need our own quiet time. I'm going to be quiet right now. That's like some of you in contemplation, isn't it? Now I'm going to be quiet. Now I'm going to watch my thoughts. Look at me watch my thoughts. Meaningful Mornings is an opportunity to mature from intellectualizing to internalizing. When you want and need quiet time, what do? You be quiet. You don't talk about it. You don't write about it. You don't even think about it. You just be quiet. The Bhagavad Gita, through our opportunity, is a practice in Shravana and Manana simultaneously, listening and reflecting. And this is most evident by the end of chapter 7 and beginning of chapter 8. Shri Krishna teaches, Prince Arjuna asks, Shri Krishna teaches. What's important to note is that Prince Arjuna already knows, but he wants to know more clearly. Shri Krishna told him the best bhakta is a jnani, one who knows so fully that it's not intellectual anymore, it's being. What does he want to know? What is Brahma? In English, infinity. Not that there's a utility to infinity, but if you think of this in a worldly way, the only way to be secure is to know that you're infinite. I know thousands of people who are very accomplished in a worldly way, and I know them well, so I also know that they're insecure. Because it doesn't matter what position or possession or pleasure one has, that is not the source of security. It is only being infinite. And though infinity is most obvious, we ignore this. How? By feeling there are many finites. You are a finite, I am a finite, this country is a bigger finite. Infinity is not many finites. Infinity is. Next question. What is Atma in English? Spirit. And what's so lovely about Sri Krishna's answer, he shares the nature of Brahma is Atma. What is the nature of infinity? Spirit. We are the spirit of infinity. Now, anything relates to infinity is in infinity, correct? If I'm part of infinity, I am infinite. If I'm of the nature of infinity, I am infinite. In our Upanishad, sometimes the subject is described as Atma Brahma Aikya, the oneness between Atma and Brahma. That is obvious, and the Atma doesn't need to know that. The more practical orientation is Jiva Brahma Aikya. It is the ego that has forgotten what its nature is. Jiva Brahma Aikya. That's taught in the first line of verse 3. Next question, what is karma? The answer, intention. The answer is intention. Zooming into intention, intention is the right action, which is our instinctive thinking, but it is the right action with the right attitude. That's the refinement. Right action with the right attitude. Shri Krishna gives a large description to what karma is. Bhuta, bhava, udbhavakaraha, visargaha, karma samnitaha. Let me explain this sum before we go to the next verse. Sarga is creation. The word sarga means creation. Here Shri Krishna uses the word visarga. That is when creation is processed. Shared differently, sarga is the elements like space, air, fire, water, earth. Visarga is when these elements are given forms and names. So reflect on this. Who are you? Are you a name or a form or the elements? It's not that Sri Krishna is bored and so he's adding all of these details. This is a methodology. This is an opportunity for us to reflect on ourselves. What are we doing with our lives? What Puja Swami Tejomayananda shared with us. Karma is that which makes us humane. Action, even animals engage in, even plants engage in. And that's why karma is intention. It is what makes humans humane. Specifically, karma is when you dedicate yourself beyond yourself. Dedicating yourself to not yourself is what karma is. It means you have to sacrifice a part of you. No sacrifice, no karma. See how non-intellectual these questions are. We continue, verse 4. Adibhutam ksharo bhavaha purushashchadi daivatam adi yajnohame vatra dehe deha bratamvara. Next answer. What is bhuta, adibhuta, ksharaha, bhavaha? The nature of the bhuta is kshara. To understand this, if you go to the previous verse, the nature of infinity is akshara, which means undividable, indivisible. Do you all remember that? Here, the nature of bhuta is that which can be divided. Not akshara, but kshara, destructible. We have already been oriented towards this in the sense of bhuta is also known as apara prakriti. It is consciousness in its lowest expression. And for a simple English understanding, bhuta is creation. Sri Krishna was orienting our understanding in verse 3 so that it's clear in verse 4. Creation. Then, Adidaiva. The next answer that's given, the Daiva is Purusha. What is Daiva? Daiva is Purusha. The word Purusha means Purnatva, that which is complete. Connecting this more to Daiva, this message is especially for our Devis. I share in almost every workshop. The word Devi comes from Div, D-I-V. Div means to shine. That's where the word diva came from, yes? Shiny eyes, shiny clothes. So tell me, what about you is shining? Your eyes become dull sometimes, your clothes become dull sometimes, but what never becomes dull? Awareness. Awareness, it's impossible for this to become dull. The awareness knows dullness of clothes and eyes and so on. So again, what is Deva? The answer, awareness. Next, Adiyagnya. This is the next answer. What is yagnya? The answer is communion. In a simple English word, communion. The bhuta is the outer world. The daiva is the inner world. Their relationship, their experience, their communion is yagnya. It is through the inner world that we come to know the outer world. And now completing these more technical thoughts, because the remaining part of the chapter is about dying. Who is the one who facilitates this communion? Shri Krishna says, Aham, I. Eva, I alone. Atra, atra means there. Where am I? Dehe, in your body. Now, please don't think of this so physically. Bhagavan lives in my liver. He may live in your kidney and another person's lung. Sometimes he moves around, right? With indigestion, he's sometimes here, sometimes there. He's inside whatever you feel you are. If you feel you're the mind, he's inside of that. If you feel you're the intellect, he's inside of that. The spirit or Atma is that which is closest. Do you remember I shared that? He's closer than that. And he calls Prince Arjuna Vara. Vara means you're the best. You are the best. He is reminding Prince Arjuna that the best bhakta is a jnani. You know this already. Start to feel this. And I feel Sri Krishna is sharing the same with you. You already know this. Start to feel this. Final reflection. At the end of chapter 7, Sri Krishna says, the one who knows me knows all. If you know Sri Krishna, you know all. And that's so practical. If you know the Creator, you know creation. Going more deeply into this, if you know consciousness, all other knowing is because of consciousness, yes? So then why such division in questioning and answering? It is for us to relate to this more. Sri Krishna is a master teacher. He's saying that is infinite, this is infinite, here is infinite, there is infinite. And if you reflect on this, we come to the conclusion that all is infinite, particularly you. Outside of you is infinite, inside of you is infinite, the communion between the two is infinite. All of the division that we feel in our lives is a superimposition. That's it. It is just a superimposition. All of these fingers are just superimposed on my hand. My hand is superimposed on my body. These are artificial divisions. They're not independent. Tomorrow we will get into how what we do every day becomes our habits become our vasanas become our future. From inspiration to application, your recent applications, one was to become more vegetarian, vegan. I was reading Vignesh's reflections, Vignesh from Baltimore, and he was sharing that our responsibility, our dharma, is to protect our mother. And we can do that just by how we eat. Another was in regards to what are the answers to these questions? And I was reading Mina's answer, Mina from Boston, and her reflection was presence. What is yajna? Presence. What is bhuta? Presence. That's a fine reflection. Another was about feeling stress is stealing your life. How many of you tried this? Did you get more life or less life this weekend? I was reading Saloni from Cleveland's Reflections. She wrote a poem about this, and she shared that she is the one from whom there can be no stealing. If you're infinite, can you steal the infinite? Steal away? Your reflection for your application for this morning is, I want you to reflect on and write about the 6 most secure people you know. You know well, not fictional, not historical, those you know well. The 6 most secure people you know well. And how do you know they're secure? How do you know that they're secure? And then go deeper. Why do you think they're secure? The how and the why. Shanti, shanti, shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.